Welcome to Walking with J.Beau, an almost daily walking vlog. I don't know how far I'm going to walk today. I don't know what route I'm going to take yet. As you can see, they just went by with another sidewalk cleaning. Which is something they have been doing well for the past few years anyway, because years ago they didn't really do it at all. So yesterday's walk was 6 miles, and that was the first walk in 8 days. Today I may do just about 5, I guess. Later on this evening, I'm going to install a magazine tube extension on the Panzer lever action shotgun, and I think I'll also record a review for it as well. Now today I have the camera on my head because I don't feel like carrying it. Still a little chilly today. It's about 32 to 35. And I just don't feel like carrying it, so we're not going to get the selfie stream look. But that's okay. I'm more interested in getting my walk and my exercise. So damn cold last night. I mean, yesterday we had 32 degrees. And so we go from 32 degrees to a low of 4 degrees overnight. Car did start a little hard this morning. A lot of people are like, well, it's not good to start your car when it's cold like that. You'll damage your engine. Well, from personal experience with my particular Mustang, it said you don't need the block heater unless it's under 0 degrees, colder than 0 Fahrenheit. So the oil does turn into a thick gel when it gets cold. and it's not as viscose. But your friggin' car is not going to fall apart either, so people need to relax. So right now my hands are cold. I'll put them in my pockets, which is why I didn't want to carry the camera. Now tomorrow it's going to be closer to 40, and it's going to be somewhere around 40 degrees for the next few days actually. A couple of days are going to have rain, freezing rain overnight, which I don't like because they're not predicting any ice storms though, which is good because we've had those before and we've lost power for days, and we certainly don't want that. So I noticed a lot of people put their trash out like they usually do, and it is still there because we had Christmas this week. Guys, come on. Your trash is not going to get picked up till tomorrow. That's how that works. So how that works in Lewiston, Maine anyway, is if you have a holiday during the week, the people that pick up the trash don't work on the holiday. So the regular trash days are bumped ahead a day for everybody. So today is Friday. This normally would have been my trash day. So now the trash will be picked up tomorrow. So tonight I will put the trash out. And we have a lot to put out this week because we shot a bunch of water jugs last week. We filled up like 3 trash bags full of stuff we shot. So then we've got Thorn Craig across the street. We'll be doing a woods walk at Gun Talk at some point. It'll be warmer this week with some rain. We got one day it's going to rain. It's going to be in the 50s. So what I'm thinking, don't quote me on it, but I may decide to do a woods walk in the rain because I haven't done that yet. I got a rain parka and I have waterproof boots, allegedly. I say allegedly because they're getting pretty worn, and when waterproof boots start getting worn, the seams start to leak. So we'll see. My winter boots were okay but they're not good for hiking. Well, I guess they could be, but I don't feel like walking in winter boots. But we were at the range and I stepped through some ice and I fell through some ice that was just a few inches thick, so I submerged my foot in water and I didn't get wet. Kind of an interesting thing I saw earlier on Truth Social on Trump's profile. He mentioned that Bill Gates called him and wants to talk with him. think I'll just take my old-fashioned route, since they have made an extra effort to clean the sidewalks. So anyway, I guess Bill Gates contacted Trump and wants to visit Mar-a-Lago, and I think he's going to visit on New Year's Eve, for some kind of party Trump is having. Kind of interesting, considering a lot of people's opinions on Bill Gates, myself included. I don't like the son of a bitch. This is the kind of thing, like when you walk in the woods, you have to watch out for. Just thought of it. Like if you look straight ahead here, you can see how the snow is all flat in a low-lying area. Now, from experience, if you don't know, that means that that is frozen water, because there's no trees growing there, and it's open, and it's flat. And there is, in fact, water there. Now, that water right now is probably frozen enough to walk on, but you don't know until you walk on it. It's only about a foot deep right there. So I was going to do a city walk today, but I don't feel like listening to the traffic, even though it can be interesting to watch, especially if somebody does something stupid. But we're just going to take my basic route, keep it simple. So that guy that was going by was looking at me like I was a jerk for walking where I'm walking. And I understand that. But I'm not going to walk across the street with cars coming towards my back that I can't see where they're going. So I always walk cars coming towards me so I can see. Plus we got all this snow on the side. If I have to jump off into the snow, I'll be fine. It'll hurt a lot less than getting hit by a car. So don't be intimidated if you go walking. Like right now, I'm looking up ahead. We see that car coming. Always look up ahead when you're walking. They see me. "95% of the time, people will slow down and swing out away from you. It's that 5% that don't is what you need to worry about." This guy sees me. I don't see any chickens out there today. Oh, a couple of them. This person sees me. And that's how you do it, folks. Always look out ahead. We got a white van coming. He sees me. He's already switching over. And I'm not walking in the road. See? I'm on the side of the road. So most people are pretty cool. It's a nice day today. Now right now I'm sweating. I'm wearing a thermal long sleeve shirt, a t-shirt over that, And I have kind of a thin nylon long sleeve shirt on top of the two shirts. And I'm wearing a big thick padded LL Bean hoodie. So I am very warm. My hands are warming up now. And I'm wearing cotton polyester leggings underneath my cargo pants. And I'm warm there too. Those are usually good to about 0. Then I start getting cold. But I'm rarely out and colder than 0. Wind is a different issue altogether. This person sees me, obviously. They swung way over. So you just get used to it. Worst thing you can do is just look down like this all the time. Somebody is going to creep up on you. There's been a couple of times I've had to step to the side, which you've seen in my videos. They're either drunk, stoned, or they don't care, or whatever. Combination of all three. Now the good thing about all this trash being out, not being picked up until tomorrow, is we may run into pew-pew jugs. I've already seen one I'm gonna grab on the way back. Sidewalk looks clear up ahead on the hill. So we'll go straight ahead today. We usually go down this way for the 6-mile walk, and we're going to go this way for the 5-mile walk. Why 5 miles instead of 6? Well, I walked 6 yesterday after not walking for 8 days. And my right knee is a little sore, and my lower back is as well. So 5 miles today will be better than 6. Yeah, I'm sweating pretty good right now. That's a steep hill right here. This really gets the heart rate going. These things the other night were all lit up. I can see they're on. All right. I'm gonna watch for cars on this little hill bend in the road. I don't have as much room on the side. Now the car. And there we go. Free, it's like a free desk. They do a good job cleaning the sidewalks here. Now, there's no sidewalks to clean on those rural routes that I like to walk. So, but the good news is we're going to have a warm spell with rain and a bunch of stuff, so we'll probably be able to walk those in a day or two. Hi! Hi, doggy. Hi. The dog wants to eat me. Don't eat me. I'm one of the good guys. That dog's just doing its job. Now this battery that's in this went dead yesterday after 3.5 miles, a little less, and it shouldn't have. So, and I do use these daily, so you know, batteries do wear out. So we'll see what it does today. I don't think the cold's going to affect it today, but it might not have been fully charged when I left. I didn't check it, so today I did check it. Fully charged. We'll see what it does. they did a nice job with the sidewalks here. Just about down to the pavement. They just did that today. They went by. I saw them in the neighborhood. So, we're gonna warm up and get rain. So this is all gonna melt down to the tar, the asphalt. So if you think I'm a crazy old man, I want to come out here and walk when it's cold and in the snow, you may be right. Things like where I'm walking right now can be very dangerous if there's ice and they can't plow up the ice. So for example, you'd have some snow sitting there like that. Underneath that snow would be some ice, and then when you step on it, your foot comes out from under you. And we're walking downhill, so there's a lot of things, if you're not used to walking in snow, that you need to know. And I think the best way to do it is to actually go out walking on sidewalks in your neighborhood if you're new to an area that does get snow. It's pretty self-explanatory. And today the snow is softening up because it's warmer. So you get used to that. This is all soft and slushy right here because it has snow melt mixed in it that the city put down, which actually resembles when you're walking on it. Like right now you can't see it, but it resembles walking on beach sand. Your feet don't have anything firm to grab. It's all about getting your exercise. That's the big thing. And you know, this walking vlog focuses on fitness after 50. Your body starts to slow down, takes a little more effort to do things, recovery time is a little bit longer, and but the benefit of walking every day is you build up your stamina like you're young again. And that's exactly what it feels like and why I like it. I have that pep and energy to run up a staircase like you used to. And I know some people over 50 that have a difficult time doing that. They get to the top, they're winded, even just a small staircase. And they get 50, 60 pounds extra that they didn't used to have, and it's not good. You got to get in shape. You need to ask yourself honest questions like, do you like what you see in the mirror? And if you don't, only you can do something about it. And it is reversible. It is reversible. It may not seem like it. You may have doubts about that, and you just say, well, I guess I'm just going to look like everybody else. I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70, whatever. But you need to give yourself positive motivation and understand there are 50, 60, 70-year-olds who do not look like that. Another thing you can do It's a subtle thing, but it's good incentive. Is when you go shopping for groceries, there's always people shopping that are obese, out of shape, they don't look good. What I mean by looking good is they don't look healthy. They don't look healthy, that's what I should say. And watch what they put in their carts. Watch what they're buying. I will guarantee you 99% of the time, people that are obese, they're putting a lot of soda in their cart. They drink soda all day long. High fructose corn syrup, sweetened sugar, soda. Now, real sugar would not be good either, but it would be a hell of a lot better than corn syrup. And corn syrup is used in foods because of the farmers. The FDA has been lobbied by the corn industry, which our tax dollars subsidize these corn farmers. So it's all a big scam that goes with the corn alcohol mixed in with fuel for the climate, which fouls out your engine, by the way, with carbon deposits. Most blue states and red states all have regulations specifying that you have to use ethanol, treated fuel, blended in with alcohol made from corn. So this all has to do with the corn industry and subsidizing farmers with tax dollars, or else the farmers probably would have to grow something else. And that's really where the corruption is, because they want the farmers growing corn and not other things. Because the food industry uses, I mean, it's all corrupt. The food industry uses a lot of artificial thises and that's, and we need to fix that. We need to be growing carrots, potatoes, fruit, everything, every damn thing. And we need to get ethanol out of the cars, and we also need to get corn syrup out of the foods. Now, the corn industry makes a lot of money from corn syrup being in foods and making Americans fat and unhealthy. They're not going to want to see it go peacefully. That's why getting RFK in there to make America healthy again is very important. And he is going to be nominated, approved, voted for by the Senate. Initially, a lot of people made a big hullabaloo about RFK, but it looks like the Republicans aren't buying it. So we'll be okay. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is when you are shopping, looking at people that are unhealthy, you're going to see a lot of commonality. I already mentioned the soda with the corn syrup. You're going to see microwave dinners, ready-made stuff that you can nuke in the microwave. You are going to see a lot of processed meats, like chicken nuggets that are frozen. All you got to do is heat them up. That goes the same thing with tater tots, all of that stuff. Don't buy any of it. It is all garbage. Now, if you really love tater tots, start reading the ingredients on the bag. Some companies actually make a half-decent one. If you lived in Europe, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It is illegal over there to sell junk food that is full of additives and preservatives and artificial coloring and artificial this, artificial that. But we don't have that here. Hopefully we will. Sounds like people understand it's a problem. But again, the big problem is the lobbyists in DC with their money, lobbying politicians not to legislate against using artificial color food and stuff like that. So the common theme is the corruption in Washington, D.C. is affecting Americans' health and our security, because if we have to go fight a war and we have to have a draft, today's youth are not physically fit enough to do it. They're just not. They have everything from mental health problems, they're on psych medications, they are obese, they eat junk food, they're lazy, and a lot of them are not. But we don't have the resources available to fight a war. We just don't. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that. And that's what corruption in DC does. It's called systemic rot. Everything goes downhill, everything degrades, including bridges that collapse. Nothing's getting fixed. And it is literally the decline of Western civilization, caused by greed and corruption from unchecked capitalism. Capitalism is a great thing, but it can also be corrupted into a bad thing. And that's what we're seeing. So I'm not against capitalism. Never going to be against capitalism. This country was founded on capitalism, and it will be saved with capitalism. So I hope you find that discussion interesting. We do have a lot to fix, but it can be fixed. It's not too late. And that's why people voted for Trump, and he needs to do a good job. And I think he will. Things seem a lot different this time around with him, with the public, and with people that previously wanted him gotten rid of. They're talking to him now and working with him. So it only took 9 years. So we'll see. It's only been 8 or 9 years. Can you believe that? 2015 until now, 9 years that they have had him on the radar as a threat to their whole thing. And I guess that was well founded, because despite all the efforts they've made to get rid of him, lock him up, he is bringing their system down, their system of corruption. And as Trump always says, the best is yet to come. So there's a lot of things, you might say, well, J.Beau, they may be very well and good. I can't afford to buy raw foods and raw vegetables. Well, the good news is there's alternatives to that too. Buy your vegetables frozen in bulk. Even your Walmart has big giant bags of mixed vegetables, corns, green beans, broccoli, all kinds of stuff. Big giant bags of it, $6. If you bought all of those individually as packages or raw, it would cost you a lot more than that. So, have a little bit of butter, some salt, and some freshly steamed broccoli from your microwave that was cooked from raw. Typically what I do for broccoli is I'll fill up a container, maybe enough for 5 or 6 servings, and I will microwave it for 6 minutes with a little bit of water in the bottom, not much. You don't really need much at all. stir it up, flip them around in the container, and then I will cook them for another 4 minutes or 3 minutes. Maybe another 5 minutes for broccoli, because the stems will stay a little tough. But you're also going to reheat them when you eat them for the next meal. And I eat a lot of rice. I'll buy a 25-pound bag of rice for about $14. It'll last me 2 months. And I eat a lot of rice. I used to eat a lot of pasta, but I don't eat pasta anymore like I used to. I still do once in a while. And we just hit 2.5 miles, according to the earpiece I have from my walking app. So that's one of those things. There's always a way around something. You know, a lot of meat costs a lot of money now. Even just in the past 3 years, there's been a 20-30% increase in the price. So, you know, I don't know what kind of deal you have with your doctor, but I eat more beef than I used to, even though it's got more fats. But I don't have a cholesterol problem, and I don't have issues like that. So I've been eating more beef. Chicken's always good. Chicken is not cheap like it used to be. And so we're going to get these food prices down. And I believe having a good energy policy will go a long way towards doing that. Fish has always been expensive. Part of the expense has to do with all the regulation that fishermen have to go through. Catch quantities are limited, and so they have a lot of overhead for cost. You have to have permits and licenses, and all the stuff God gave us for free is all taxed and licensed. Shameful. So, January 1st in Maine, there will be a 1% increase on income tax. And that 1% increase on income tax is specifically to fund parents having leave, not sick leave, but parental leave. When they have a newborn, things like that. That 1% tax is to pay for them being absent from work, and to help fund things like daycare. Now that's all stuff I support, but we're overtaxed with a whole bunch of unnecessary tax, so this just piles on, and now that's going to put us in the top 3 income tax per capita for citizens in the state. So we're up there with New York, California, and now Maine. So property taxes are probably going to be going up because they lifted the ban on raising property taxes. Some townships have already seen an increase, and some people are very upset about it. And I haven't heard very much about it in the news, so I think the Democrats are taking a second look at that, saying maybe we shouldn't have done that. They always want to tax and spend, tax and spend, tax and spend some more. They come up with new things to do, raise taxes to pay for it. And they waste the tax dollars that they're already getting. And I was real serious about it when I said it. I hope Trump defunds the state of Maine until we get our priorities straight with transitioning children, which should be illegal. And we should stop promoting it and paying for it. And most of the public agrees with that. The Democrat ideologues, however, the progressives, the virtue signaling liberal, promote it like a religion. Now, we were just seeing something online. I was referencing a simple fact that Hollywood celebrities lead the world in transitioning their children. It is very obviously a virtue signaling, social contagion, and not a legitimate body dysmorphia issue. Dysmorphia, I should say. Body dysmorphia is somebody looks in the mirror and they absolutely hate who they are, what they look like. That's the prime driver with people that are anorexic and eating disorders. They don't see themselves in the mirror like other people do. And that's a legitimate psychiatric condition. And many transsexuals also have legitimate psychiatric conditions similar to that. But it has always been an extreme minority. And I'm not talking about drag queens, cross-dressers. Most cross-dressers are bisexual men who it's a sexual fetish. And I've said on my walk many times, that's all fine and good. If that's your kink, you want to do that in private, have at it. But don't force children to participate in it. Don't force people to call you trans or a female when you're not. And then go do perverted things to yourself in the ladies' room like some of these weirdos are doing. And the true transsexuals of the world, I have all the respect for you, and you know what I'm talking about. This transgender ideological cult is a form of neo-Marxist gender ideology. And they do it with all races, all creeds, and they do it with climate change. They do it with everything. So, you don't have to ascribe to it. Hi, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Nice afternoon.
Yes, we got some more coming. Might end up walking in the rain though. And some other people going for a walk. See that? Now that person is wearing a reflective vest. I've already explained to you my experiences with it. For the type of walking I do and where I walk, it was not safe to wear a reflective vest at night. And I know that sounds really silly. I was actually safer when other people couldn't see me because I could control what's going on. And when we had we just hit 3 miles. 3 miles in 53 minutes. So when I'd be walking with a vest, I was getting an attitude from people driving. Now you saw on the way here to this point, all the people would move over and go by slow when they saw me. As soon as you're wearing a reflective vest, all of that goes away. They don't move over, they drive. You're more likely to get hit wearing a vest. And I know that's not going to be a popular thing that makes sense. I didn't think that would happen, but I've experienced it. It's almost like people were like, you're not going to tell me where I can drive. It's because you're wearing a vest. Do you think you're some kind of authority or something? And I think it's just a psychological thing. And because there's a vest, they feel like they don't have to be careful. because they saw a vest. Now, I don't know how that works. I don't know why that was like that, but that's what happened. And it wasn't just one experience. I wore one about 4, maybe 5 times, and every single damn time I would have to stop and step aside while somebody went by because they were too close, and I don't have to do that when I'm not wearing a vest. It's the weirdest thing. So I chalk it up with one of those things like, you know, they pass laws here where kids have to wear a helmet when they ride a bike. And that's a good idea if it's a good helmet. We never had helmets. I don't recall anybody ever getting a head injury from some of the crazy stuff we did. And so I don't know how effective that is. Kind of like states that pass laws that say you can't have a live round chambered in your self-defense carry, and you have to have a permit. You trained how to use it, you passed the training, and you were issued a permit, but then the law won't let you carry a live round chambered ready to go if you're attacked. So now if you're attacked, you have to rack around, and that wastes obvious time. And what if it is in a situation where you couldn't really forcefully rack it and you're fighting with somebody? So you kind of have to do a half rack and hope that you don't, you know, get something jammed, like your glove. If you're wearing a glove like this time of year, you go to rack around and your glove can get caught in the chamber while you're racking it. I've done that at the range. So it's not the best thing to keep yourself safe, to not have a live chamber, a live round in the chamber ready to go. And also, a lot of people feel a lot safer when they have their carry and they want to have a safety. But the truth of the matter is, hardly anybody trains using the safety. They go to the range to train, and when they're ready to fire, they'll take the safety off, but they don't safety train. They don't pull the pistol like they're in a self-defense situation and uncock the safety as part of your training. So they'll go up, they'll take the safety off, shoot a magazine, pop the magazine out, and pop another one in without even doing anything with the safety. So then when they have to do something in a live situation, they're not ready. And you're fumbling around with your safety in that precious few seconds that really matter. So I know what I like and what I don't like. Now, in 1911, basically has 3 safeties built into it, with the grip safety, the safety, and you can't pull the trigger unless the grip safety is deployed. And you can also carry it with the hammer half-cocked, so you can't fire it. So there's different kinds of ways you can do with the 1911. But again, there's still a procedure you have to do. Now, I carry a striker fired, similar to a Glock in that there's no safety. So I don't like having a safety. I have a round chambered with no safety. I have the firearm in a nice plastic holster, and the trigger guard is covered. Very important to have the trigger guard covered if you're going to carry without the safety. I want to be able to pull my pistol and use it, not have to think about anything else. I even use a self-defense carry that has a little extra that you have to pull on the trigger to fire it, because you want to be sure with the adrenaline rush that you have that you don't shoot like you would at the range, where you go to the range, everything's nice and calm, you take your time, squeeze the trigger. Well, when you're all tensed up in a confrontation, you're probably going to pull the trigger harder than you normally would because of adrenaline, excitement, and energy rush. So my trigger is one that Smith & Wesson came up with specifically for self-defense firearms, where it has a little bit extra creep when you pull the trigger, and it's more difficult to pull the trigger. That solves a lot of problems. And the other thing I like about it is after you fire it once, it resets very quickly. So that first take up is almost like a double action, even though it's not. So you see what they did there. So the first pull is extra, and it has more creep, and then it resets quickly enough where you can fire quickly if you need to, without having to do that every time. So it's like having a double single and a striker fired. So Smith & Wesson did a really good job with that. It's also an economical firearm, and I carry an SDE, an SDVE. Which just stands for self-defense, and the VE stands for value enhanced, which the ones you can get nowadays are around 300. So you can get a Smith & Wesson SDVE, SD40, or an SD9. 9 is a 9mm, 40 is a 40. I carry a 40 with good quality self-defense hollow points that law enforcement used. I say used because they don't carry 40s anymore. They carry 9s basically. Somebody might still carry a 40 though. I'd carry a 9 as well. I do have a 9 I carry for self-defense. Good hollow points, 115 grain. Hollow point, has the perfect velocity for perfect expansion. Very good self-defense. Hollow points will expand very well and be just as effective as anything else. Now they have 115 grain, 124, and 147. 147 and 124 I would not recommend in handguns because of the expansion. They're still fun to shoot, Full Metal Jacket, but for self-defense, the velocity of the bullet factors very high into the expansion of a hollow point. They need to be copacetic, and you don't get that in the 124 or 147 grain. 124 grain is great in a carbine, even a small pistol carbine, anything that has like a 12-inch barrel to 16-inch to 20-inch. My favorite to shoot in a 9mm carbine is 147 grain. A little less velocity, heavier bullet weight, and you get the velocity out of the 16 to 20-inch barrel that you lose in a handgun. So if you carry a 9mm subcompact, for example, you're not going to want to carry 124 grain or 147. You're going to want 115 in a 3.5 to 4 inch barrel, even a 5 or 5.5 inch if you should get one of those kind of models. But you definitely want the 115 grain 9mm. And for the 40 in a pistol, I like the 180 grain. Really good expansion. And you can have some lower than that as well. There's a whole bunch of different ones available. Depending on what you have. If you get a plus P type deal, a little bit of extra harumph on it, you can use a little heavier bullet and still get good expansion. If you're using like a regular kind of velocity, feet per second, foot-pounds of energy, you'll probably want a lighter bullet. So there's a lot of different things to research, but 9mm has been around forever and a week. Tried and true, 115 grain, hollow point. All the people that know what they're talking about will suggest the same thing. Paul Harrell comes to mind. Hickok 45 is another one. It's very important. You don't want to buy this expensive, oh, I'm going to use an even heavier grain bullet, it'll do more damage, more foot-pounds, more this. Yeah, well, velocity really is important for expansion of hollow points, especially shooting through clothing and things like that. So just things to keep in mind. Do your research on that. Across the street, there's an untethered dog. I was gonna go raid that trash for an empty jug I saw, but they have an untethered giant poodle. That would be really embarrassing to get attacked by a giant poodle. People would be like, come on, it was just a giant poodle. So we're going to cross over here now that we're past the dog. But there was a shoot cycling jug in the trash that I saw on the way here. We'll be passing it again. So I got the camera on my head. I got 2 free hands, so I could pick up 2 jugs. I have 2 shooting jugs. Fill them up with water and shoot them. It's called shoot cycling. Trash bag here full of wrapping paper from Christmas. Sure, there was a lot of that. Ooh, look at this. And here we go. This is what I wanted. See this? We got 3 cat litter jugs. Yeah. This is what I was talking about. So we got 3 cat litter jugs. Now I don't care about the 1 gallon jug I was going to pick up on the way back because these are better. Now I got 3 of these. My hands are full. Well, I might be able to carry the milk jug like this on this one. So maybe I'll find another cat litter jug. So a lot of people are like, well, how can you just pick stuff up out of the trash? And, well, it's out of the recycling bins. Granted, people don't wash their stuff, but it's just cat litter. and we get to use it at the range to shoot it, and it's going to get repackaged and then thrown away. So it's going to go to the same place. Hey buddy. Hi. So we're going to shoot cycle it. And the battery's still going, so it was low on a charge, like I suspected. We just hit 4 miles. So anyway, some people are like, you know, you pick up the trash on your walks. I wouldn't bother, and I'm like, well, they don't seem to be upset when we have jugs to shoot. This is like the 4th or 5th one I've picked up. Combined with the other stuff, just from daily living, like juice containers and, you know, barbecue sauce, condiment bottles, milk jugs, things like that. So we just collect those till we have enough to shoot, and then we shoot them. So we'll keep an eye out for another cat litter container. You know, and the other thing I didn't think about is this colder weather affects battery length, battery depletion rate and all that, because that's what cold weather does. Maybe because I have the camera on my head, I'm getting residual body heat keeping the battery warmer, and it'll last longer. Could be. Could be. But at the end of the day, you know what? I am still very, very happy Trump won. This is going to be awesome. Counting down the days, boys. Today's the 27th. 24 more days. A little over 3 weeks, folks. Trump's going to be sworn in. You got a whole bunch of people on the left that are really rabid right now. They're getting angry with Democrats, and they're getting angry with the media for not continuing the orange Hitler thing, dictator stuff they were saying. And it's like they haven't figured out yet that they've been used. Now they're getting mad at the media for all of a sudden being owned by Trump and caving in to Trumpism. These people are hopelessly mentally ill. But that's what we got, folks. A bunch of mentally ill voters who just know how to hate. Cancel culture, boycotts, cancel culture. If you support Trump, you're a racist. It's amazing how bored people got with that and saw how stupid it was and stopped doing it. And a lot of people have. It's definitely a different atmosphere now that he won, and he won convincingly, decisively. And you're seeing a lot of Democrats like Senator Fetterman leading the way, saying that people that voted for Trump aren't racist and they're not terrible people. They voted for Trump because they have been ignored. And we're not going to win unless we recognize that. So that's what they're going to do. The Democrats are going to play moderate. They're going to play moderate. Whether they're sincere or not, I don't believe it, because they're not. They will do whatever they need to do to win. And calling everybody a racist that votes for Republicans didn't work, did it? Made people angry. That's the natural reaction. I don't know why they didn't know that. Well, actually I do. It's special interest dollars, money. The .orgs, as I've called them on this series of walks. The .orgs, people like George Soros funding all these community organization groups, which are just basically indoctrination cells to indoctrinate communities to be far left, telling them that the reason they have problems is because Republicans hate black people or whatever other minority. And I think a lot of people's minds have been poisoned, but enough people woke up from that coma to vote for their own self-interest, which was to vote for Republicans. So some people are getting it. Well, we need one more jug. And I think this is coming up on the time that I might lose this battery. If I do, I'll change it out. In the summertime, I can get a full walk on one battery for 5 miles. This time of year, because of the cold, that may change. But I might be leaking enough heat through my head to keep the battery warm. Maybe. Walk will be coming to an end regardless very shortly. Coming up on 4.5 miles. I'm only walking about 5, at least on video. I gotta go a little bit further to get where I'm going. But you guys never see that. 4.5 miles, an hour and 18 minutes. According to my app in my ear. Well, physically, I feel like 5 miles was perfect today. Wait till this truck goes by and then I'll cross. Now it's starting to cool off. Sun's getting lower in the sky. Got cold quick last night. I mean, literally between 6 o'clock at night and 7:30, the temperature dropped about 25 degrees. Well, more like 20. But by morning it was 4 degrees. And at night it was 32. So regardless, I want to thank you for walking with me. Click like and subscribe, share the content, and the walk's almost done. Someday soon we will be walking in here, doing a woods walk, gun talk. Maybe one of those days where we get 50 degrees and rain. So until then, folks, have a blessed week. Have a nice weekend, I should say. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for walking with me. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's. Stay safe out there and watch out for drunks. Bye-bye.